Just like in example 1, I'll do 2 pieces for example 2. If what we do in A makes sense, if you got it, then you don't necessarily have to watch part B. But example 2, I am trying to find the focus and the directrix of the parabola x equals negative 0.75 y squared. Well, the first thing I notice here is that we have our equation as x equals y squared. So the fact that it's x equals means I have a sideways parabola. This negative here, well, let's think about what negatives usually do. Negatives usually reflect up and down. Since we have a sideways parabola, that means instead of our parabola going to the right, we have a sideways parabola that's going to go to the left. Okay. Here's my sideways parabola going to the left. Well, to figure out where our focus and our directrix are going to be, I really need to figure out what is P in this equation. Well, look at the two forms here. X equals A times y squared, or x equals 1 over 4p y squared. A and 1 over 4p are the same thing. If I look at the equation I have right now, it looks like our equation is a little more like that first form, negative 0.75. Well, that negative 0.75 tells us what 1 over 4p equals. Okay. And if we can figure out what 1 over 4p equals, then we're going to be in pretty good shape. All right, well, let's see here. I want to get p by itself. I don't really like just looking at this, that I have a fraction and a decimal here, but I guess it'll kind of work. If we try to get rid of our fraction here, let's start off by multiplying both sides by 4p to try to get rid of our fraction. Negative 0.75 times 4 is negative 3. Negative 3p is going to equal 1, because when I multiply this right side by 4p, those p's cancel out. Okay, and again, negative 0.75 times 4 is negative 3. Well, to get p by itself, this looks a lot easier already. We divide both sides by negative 3. P is negative 1/3. And again, this is another way for us to see where our focus is, I guess. Since P is negative, that tells us we have to go the other direction with our focus. Okay, but our focus is going to be 1/3 away here. Okay, so how could we write that as an ordered pair? Because the focus is a point. So the point of the focus is negative 1/3, 0. And keep in mind that every point on your parabola is the same distance away from the focus as it is to the directrix. So our directrix is going to be 1/3 the other direction. That distance is 1/3 again. So 1/3 the other direction, we have a vertical line. Equations for vertical lines are in the form x equals, goes through 1/3 here. X equals 1/3 is our directrix. Again, drawing pictures is some of my biggest advice to give you. All right, let's do a second piece here. Y equals 1/12 x squared. Again, if part A was pretty good, you don't necessarily have to watch part B. I'll leave it up to you. But same directions, we're going to find the focus and the directrix for this parabola. Y equals 1/12 x squared. Just like before, this 1/12 tells us what 1 over 4p equals. So 1 over 4p equals 1 over 12. Well, this equation isn't going to be too bad for us to solve because if you look at our ratios here, our fractions on each side, we have a 1 on top for both. So we could go straight to the fact that 4p has to equal 12. If this didn't work out quite so nicely, don't forget that we can always look at the cross products of proportions. So multiply across here. When you have a fraction equaling another fraction, look at the cross products. 1 times 4p has to equal what 1 times 12 equals. And again, we get the same thing either way because either way 4p has to equal 12. Divide both sides by 4. P is 3. Okay, let's draw our picture now so we can figure out a little bit better where all of our pieces of information fit together. We have our parabola. If it's y equals, that means our parabola is going to be vertical. And it's y equals a positive number. So my parabola is going to open up. P, that focal length is 3. Which means my focus is 3 away from the vertex. So 3 away from the vertex is going to be the point 0, 3. Okay, and the directrix, same distance away, but on the other side. Again, 3 away from our vertex. So our directrix is a horizontal line here. Horizontal lines are in the equation y equals negative 3 here.